KZ Guy 2 here, No Nonsense, No How. Working on my 1996 Dodge Ram 2500, and I'm going to be installing these front leveling spacers. Got these on Amazon for about 40 bucks. I'll put a link in there in case you guys want to buy them. Now, why am I doing that? These trucks come from the factory with about a 2-inch difference, 2 inches higher in the back. So I was thinking about taking the spacers out in the back. It's got 4.5-inch factory spacers. I was going to cut 2 inches off of those. But then I figured, why not just get these cheap enough, easy enough to put on the front. And that's going to do one of a couple things here. It's actually going to bring my tailgate down a hair, probably about an inch according to my calculations. And then obviously give the truck a little bit different look. So right here, we'll pause this. And here's with the front jacked up 2 inches exactly on the sway bar up front. Now that actually brought my tailgate down 1.25 inches, so that's definitely a benefit to me for loading motorcycles and such. I'm not going to go in a ton of detail, but I'll give you guys some pointers putting these in. I am going to try to use this Harbor Freight compressor here to get them in. I'll let you know how that works out, but basically jack the thing up so the wheels are off the ground by the frame, put jack stands under the frame, simple enough, take your front wheels off. Definitely a good time to get new shocks if you're going to be replacing those, because they're going to be off anyway. And then go ahead and, take these 3 screws off on the top. Probably going to have to remove the sway bar link possibly as well, but I'll compress the spring down, and yeah, I'll let you guys know how that works out. But just wanted to give you guys a visual of what you'll be looking at and how it'll look. And like I said, the fact that it drops the tailgate down is pretty sweet too. Alright, so with the frame supported on jack stands, you come over, bottom bolt on your front shocks at 21mm. I can't believe how little rust these bolts had. It's pretty awesome. I like that. It's for a 1996. And then 3 15mm nuts on the top of the shock tower. Whole thing comes out like that. No problems there. Replace that if you need to, if you want to. And then go ahead and index your springs so you know where that was. And so this Harbor Freight tool, it's compressed the spring pretty good to where, I have a good gap to get the spacer in there. I could probably down on it a little bit, but man, this thing is bending and cracking, and if I was doing it all over again, I probably would not use this again. So that's my review for this tool. Definitely not rated for heavy duty springs, but when I'm compressing this, either have the shock in there or stick a pipe like I did through there, so in case this thing breaks, the spring doesn't come flying out of your face, because, whatever. So once you get to that stage, pretty self-explanatory. Basically, on top of this rubber insulator, you're going to be reusing the rubber insulator, but on top of there, this steel piece goes through, and that's where the shock tower nuts go on. I can't believe, again, that this has no rust. This is a pretty rust-free truck, so I'm really happy about that. And then you're going to go ahead and pry down and slip these in. This is going to sit on top of the rubber insulator. Simple enough. I don't really think I need to show you too much else. The one thing I will say is, I do suggest checking the alignment when you're done doing this. Here's your caster adjuster on the front and everything. I need new bushings anyway, so I'll probably get those first. Another thing to consider too is when you lift this thing 2 inches in the front, you're putting a lot more load on these bushings. These are supposed to be, when you tighten these control arm bolts, you're supposed to put this thing down on the ground with the wheels loaded up, and then tighten them down. So I mean, these probably seized up anyway, but whatever. That's something to consider. Look at this tool though, bending pretty good. So to simplify things, also remove your sway bar bushing brackets to drop the sway bar down. When you're going to tighten those back, these are 15mm. When you tighten those back down, make sure to load the wheels up first, and then you can push this right up against there with very little resistance. Also bear in mind, you definitely want to do both sides at the same time so you can drop this axle down real low. So you want to get both sides out, and then it'll drop down real low. And I mean, this spring's already loose to begin with, so you won't have to compress it as haul too much. I got this one right where it needs to be, so I can slip this new one in there, and the rest is pretty brainless. So just be careful with these springs, guys, because when you compress these, they could definitely jump out. I had one hit me in the chest once, and definitely was kind of scary. So I had a bruise there for a couple weeks. So thanks, guys.